Welcome back, everyone. Today we're diving into No Gain, No Love episodes 3 and 4. We've got some seriously extra-contract marriage mayhem, office romance, and just a touch of family drama to unravel, so buckle up.
Sounds like a classic K-drama recipe with a good chance of a few spicy twists. What are the big moments we should look out for in these episodes?
Okay, so you know how much K-dramas love their fake relationships?
Oh, yeah.
Well, in these episodes, we get a proposal scene, complete with the tuxedo reveal and a ring made out of discontinued jelly candy. It's so over-the-top romantic, even if it's all for show.
Talk about grand gestures. But you know what's interesting about this review? Despite the whirlwind wedding and honeymoon, the reviewer points out that there's zero awkwardness between our main leads, Ji-wook and Hae-young. Like, they're already super comfortable. It kind of makes you wonder if there's something more genuine brewing under the surface.
Totally. And speaking of Ji-wook, things get a bit more complicated with him in these episodes. We get some backstory family in Canada, a grandmother he seems to be avoiding, and a past that's a bit of a mystery. The reviewer even suggests that he might have been stretching the truth about his connection to Hae-young.
Ah, the mysterious male lead. It's a K-drama staple for a reason. This definitely adds another layer to his character, right? Like, is he hiding something big or just protecting himself? And then there's that potential link to Hae-young's family through fostering. That's classic K-drama.
It's like they're setting us up for a major reveal. But before we get totally lost in the main plot's twists and turns, these episodes throw us another curveball. A hilarious subplot with a steamy romance novelist and her son, who is, get this, a CEO.
Oh, the irony.
He's totally mortified to find out his own mother wrote this book, but he also can't put it down. The reviewer calls this subplot dramatic dessert, and it's the perfect description. It's like those little bites of drama and humor that keep us hooked on K-dramas, you know?
I get it. And this dramatic dessert might be more than just a fun distraction. Remember Chairman Bok, the CEO's dad? The reviewer noticed a possible connection between his past and Ji-wook's mother in Canada. It's a small detail, but it could be a sign of something bigger, right?
Yeah, it's like the writers are dropping little hints here and there. And then there's that scene where Ji-wook makes a surprise visit to Hae-young's mother at the nursing home.
Right after the whole jelly ring proposal, right?
Right. And remember how the nursing home is right across from Ji-wook's Goshuan? For those who don't know, a Goshuan is kind of a small, affordable housing option, often for students.
Okay.
So he's clearly familiar with the area, which makes you think, right?
Yeah.
And if you go back even further to the wedding scene, there's that moment where Hae-young's mother briefly becomes lucid and calls out to Ji-wook like she knows him. She says, "My Ji-wook," and he responds with, "It's me."
Wow, I miss that.
It's subtle, but it hints at a deeper connection, don't you think?
For sure. The reviewer even suggests that maybe, just maybe, Ji-wook was one of the foster children Hae-young's mother cared for. It would definitely explain his reasons for the marriage, wouldn't it? And add a whole new layer to their whole relationship.
Totally. And just when you think you've got things figured out, we jump ahead 3 months, which, let's face it, is a lifetime in K-drama land, and Ji-wook is back.
3 months? What happened?
This time, he's not a carefree part-timer, oh no. He's back as a full-fledged professional, and guess what?
Tell me.
He's landed a job at Hae-young's company, Golby Education.
No way. Total power move, like he's trying to throw everyone off balance, which, you know, in K-dramas often leads to some pretty entertaining chaos. What do you think his game is? Is this all part of some master plan, or are we maybe seeing a hint of genuine feelings starting to creep in for Hae-young?
Right, like, is this Ji-wook being strategic, or is this his heart kind of taking over? The reviewer seems to think that this whole Golby Education situation is going to bring on a whole lot more than just office politics. So get ready for some serious romantic tension. Probably a few hilarious misunderstandings along the way, and hey, maybe even, just maybe, a little bit of actual love blossoming. You know how K-dramas love a good slow burn.
Don't I ever? Okay, but before we get too far ahead of ourselves with all the romance theories, let's circle back to that subplot with the romance novelist and her CEO son for a sec. I know it seems kind of lighthearted, but the reviewer hints that there might be more to it than we realize.
Oh, for sure. Remember how the CEO, Gi-hyun, was like totally mortified to find out his mom was behind that steamy romance novel he couldn't put down?
Yeah.
Well, it gets even better. He decides to get online and leave all these scathing reviews, totally trashing the book.
No way.
Using a fake name, of course. And the best part,
What?
he has no clue that the author he's been going after is none other than his own employee, Jo-yeon.
Oh my gosh, this is too good.
It's like a recipe for disaster, right? And sure enough, Gyoyen's little online outburst gets back to his dad, Chairman Bok, who then threatens to, get this, disinherit him if the whole thing blows up. But here's where things get really interesting. When Go-hyun's mom hears about the threat and finds out that Go-hyun told his dad he was an only child,
Wait, what?
she has this really telling reaction. Like, there's definitely more to the story.
Mm.
And the way she mentions Chairman Bok getting rid of something from his past, it's all very suspicious.
So we're thinking maybe a secret sibling situation?
The reviewer thinks it's a real possibility.
Yeah.
And it would definitely shake things up. I mean, another Bokadir out there, someone who maybe got pushed aside or something,
Yeah.
that could change everything, right? And speaking of changing everything, remember that little connection the reviewer pointed out between Chairman Bok and Ji-wook's mother in Canada?
Oh, yeah, totally.
It seemed kind of random at first, but now it feels like it could be a huge deal. What if Ji-wook's mom is somehow tied to this problem from Chairman Bok's past?
Oh, wow.
It could mean that Ji-wook and Hae-young are way more connected than they even realize. Talk about a classic K-drama twist. But, with all the drama and the secrets and everything, one thing I really appreciate about No Gain, No Love is the way they show Hae-young's positive influence on the people around her.
Oh, absolutely. Even when things are chaotic, she just has this way of bringing out the best in people. Like with Jaeyeon, she's the one who encourages her to go after her writing dreams. And when things go south with the online harassment, Hae-young's right there supporting her.
And that support leads to that hilarious encounter between Jaeyeon and Gi-hyun at the police station. Talk about an unexpected meet cute, right?
Right.
Definitely not your typical meet cute. You get Gi-hyun, who's totally surprised to find out that the person he's been arguing with online is actually pretty great in person. And Jaeyeon, even though she's hurt by the whole thing, starts to see a different side to this CEO who's secretly a fan of her writing.
It's pretty clever how the writers handle it, right? They address online harassment, which is a serious issue, but they do it in a way that still fits the tone of the show. But it also highlights what the reviewer was saying about Hae-young. She has this way of seeing the good in people even when they're not at their best.
She's a good egg, that's for sure. And it's not just Jaeyeon she has this effect on. Think about how she encourages Ji-wook to go after what he wants, even if it means standing up to his grandmother. There's something really powerful about the way she cares about people.
It's true, and it definitely makes her a different kind of K-drama heroine. She's not waiting around for someone to save her, She's strong, resourceful, and she gets things done. Which brings us back to that ending scene with Ji-wook showing up at Gagolbi Education, all changed.
Let's talk about a transformation. He went from casual to corporate in what felt like 5 seconds. What do you think? Calculated move? Or is there some real emotion starting to break through that tough exterior?
The reviewer seems to think it's Ji-wook trying to take control of the situation, and it's true, he does love a good strategy. But there's something about the way he looks at her, the way he says, "I missed you, ma'am." It makes you wonder if his feelings for Hae-young are starting to mess with his plans.
Right. Whether it's all part of the plan or a slip-up, it definitely changes things between them.
For sure. And you know what they say about proximity, right? Add a little bit of that to a K-drama, with all the chemistry and secrets already bubbling under the surface, and things are bound to get interesting.
This deep dive has been a wild ride. We've got yogurt love letters, surprise makeovers, and enough intrigue to keep us guessing. But for me, what makes No Gain, No Love so great is that balance they strike between the fun, lighthearted stuff and the more serious moments. You're invested in the characters, and you're always on the edge of your seat waiting to see what happens next.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And with all these contract marriage shenanigans, family secrets, and unexpected connections, I'm so curious to see what surprises are in store for us. We've only just scratched the surface, and I have a feeling there are plenty more twists and turns ahead.
Before we wrap things up, I want to leave our listeners with something to think about. We've been talking about a possible link between Ji-wook's mom and Chairman Bok's past. What if their connection goes even deeper than we first thought? What if it's the key to uncovering something huge, something that changes everything we thought we knew about these characters and why they do the things they do? Something to ponder as we wait for the next episode. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.